Hi, I'm Amanda Freed, and I'm coming to you from the core at La Encantada, where we have continued to support you with the classes that you have become accustomed to and hopefully have enjoyed. I'm teaching meditation, which is what I love to offer here at the core. And you can catch us here. You can catch us on tmcaz.com. You can catch us on our Facebook page, on YouTube. So, whatever is your preferred and favorite medium for tuning into us, we're making our classes available to you. And this month, we've been talking about centering the mind to enter the heart. And that's been all of February. And, we're still sort of in crazy times, but we can find our center and find our calm. So I'm going to explain the theme for today for a few minutes, and then we'll move into a meditation together. I'll guide you through a meditation. And you can find your comfortable spot now, and you don't have to be in any sort of artificial position or isolated in any way. We're kind of in the real world. So I want to just take a moment to have you maybe turn off any distractions and show up as fully as you can. You may be in the middle of your workday. You might be home. A lot of us are working from home now. So see if you can minimize distractions in the room. If you've got computers or televisions on, see if you can just sort of bring yourself as much into your current space as you can. We spend so much of our time with our bodies in one place and our attention in another. So when we decide to step into the practice of meditation, the first thing that we try to do is to bring the mind and the body together to see if we can sort of get cohesive and in one space. We are so much of the time split into so many different directions. How many times do you have your phone going, your computer going, the television going, some music? And so it really sort of splits our attention, and we've become so used to having our attention split that it's less comfortable for us to have our attention in one place. And that's really what meditation is about, is bringing your attention to one idea, one thought, one phrase. So we do this practice on an external level first. So the external actions that we can take is literally turning things off, maybe even dimming lights, or how can we minimize the visual and attention getting stimuli around us. And then when we talk about the heart in a yogic philosophy or a yogic practice, as a reminder, and we've discussed this all month, is that we're not talking about your anatomical heart. We're not even talking about your emotional heart. We're talking about a whole different space within us. And so, a lot of times we think, oh, I knew that in my heart, or I had a gut feeling about something. And I don't know about you, but things I was so sure of in my heart sometimes turned out to be not true. Something I thought I had a really good gut feeling about at times have betrayed me a little bit. And so that's why we're not talking about the emotional heart here, because that can still be fluctuating, and it can still tell us stories that are not necessarily true. So in this philosophy, when we begin to talk about the heart, what we're really finding is a place, a space where there's quiet, where there's calm, where there's zero judgment, even no language. So when we begin to meditate and we hear the mind is just chattering, 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 that's just the mind doing its mind thing. And we're not going to work hard to shut that down or shut it up, because if you've ever tried that, you understand that it's really not possible. We let that chattering be, and then we bring the attention someplace else. And if we have a hard time finding that quiet space, I like to call it that the cave of the heart, the warm, dark space where we can only find comfort and really just a sweet, sweet state of being. If we have trouble with that, it's just because we're not used to doing it. And so the more and more we get together and do these practices, the more accustomed you'll be to doing it. The more you stop trying to quiet the mind and just gently shuttle the attention elsewhere, the better you'll get at it. It's like a muscle. It's like we're creating this muscle of centering into the heart space. So go ahead and find your comfortable seated position. Again, you don't have to be in an upright, rigid position. You can let the shoulders relax a little bit. You can either be on the floor on a cushion or you can be seated in a chair. Sometimes people listen to this in their car, hopefully not while you're driving. You can sit on the bed. So we really do want to be seated as opposed to lying down, but just get yourself comfortable. And when you do find that comfortable place, allow the eyes to close down gently. And if you're not in a place where you feel totally safe with your eyes closed, you can leave them open just a slit, just enough to let a little bit of light in. And you might find that the moment you begin to try, quote unquote, to settle down, the mind might get even busier. And that's okay. For the first few moments, just let those thoughts flow as they would. If the mind gets racy, oh, I have to remember, I have to do this later, I have to do that tomorrow, or I can't believe this happened earlier. It's okay. Just let that go, almost like you've got a little TV going in the background. And as we now bring the attention to the breath, you can let that sound of the mind just fade a little bit more gently into the background and listen to the sound of your breath. So for now, we're going to use our sense of hearing to focus in on the breath. Now, what might first happen is that you might hear some sounds in the room. That's fine. Let them in. And again, as you bring the awareness to the breath, the sounds in the room might fade a little bit. Like I said, at first they might get louder, and that's fine. If you create a slight constriction in the back of your throat, almost like you were trying to fog up a mirror, it will be a little bit more accessible to hear the breath. If you have to open the mouth to hear your breath, great, no problem. Allow that slight aspirant sound to catch your attention. See, our attention flits often from here to there. So allow the breath to catch your attention. Become wrapped and fascinated by this sound of your breath. You might notice it's a little more challenging to make that aspirant sound on the inhale because we're used to the ha sound. So when we put a little awareness, a little attention to the breath, even for today, a slight bit of effort in the breathing, we become more and more focused where we want to focus. That's all that meditation is. Just placing the attention where you'd like it to be, rather than having the attention pulled in other directions. Continue to focus on the sound of your breath. And now, if you're a more kinesthetic person, you might be able to focus on the feel of your breath, whether it's the air coming in and out of your nose or your mouth, Or maybe it's the rise and the fall of your chest. You might choose to focus on the abdomen, how the belly becomes soft and full on the inhale. And slightly deflates on the exhale. So focusing now on either the sound or the feel of your breath. So to enter the breath or the senses is the most accessible way to bring the attention right here, right now, in this very moment. The breath and the sense of hearing are dynamic, right here, right now. And now that you have your attention, let's bring some awareness to the muscles of the body. First, allowing the low jaw to release. So the lips and teeth might part gently. And any tension in the jaw can just release, even allowing the low jaw to slide back gently so that the neck elongates and the top of the head reaches up toward the sky. Then you might briefly notice there's a clearer channel for your breath. Allow the skin of the forehead to be soft and smooth. The muscles just above and around the ears release. The sides of the scalp. The muscles at the sides of your throat. And inhale and let the shoulders just sit where they naturally would, kind of in a neutral position. So you don't need to depress the shoulders down toward the floor or stretch them up. You can check in with your neck or your shoulders, see where they like to sit. Let the arms just hang by your sides and notice where the hands have naturally fallen. There's not a right or a wrong place. Your hands might be palms down on your legs or palms up. You might have one hand on top of the other in your lap. Feel where your hands connect either with your legs or each other. Just feel that space right now. Let the hips sink heavy into the seat beneath you. Let the muscles of the thighs fall heavy. And let your belly be full and soft. So no holding necessary there. We put such a high value on a flat stomach, and a lot of times that's where the source of our tension is. Just let it go. Let the feet and the hands and the wrists and ankles just be. So as much as we can, we want the body to almost become nothing. So if we release the tension, if we soften the muscles, the body becomes neutral, innocuous. And this becomes a perfect condition to enter the space of the heart, which is the same. Neutral, without judgment, even without words. So when we notice that words or descriptions or judgments are coming in, we've entered the mind again, and that's fine. Now, behind closed eyes, just notice what you see. For some of us, there might be a color, might be shapes or shots of color. We're going to focus the attention now on whatever you see behind closed eyes. Now, if it's an image of a person or a place, know that that's still in the mind. So allow any images to just pass by, almost like clouds in the sky. As thoughts and images do pass through the landscape of the mind. But what sustains is without color, without description. Again, you may see shots of color and that's fine, but not necessarily a shape with a color. In meditation, some people see a blue light or purple or white light or golden. Might be in the shape of an orb of color, an orb of light. Just stay connected with your breath if you can. And the mind will wander, it's fine. Just bring it back to whatever you see behind your closed eyes. And if what you see does take a very distinctive shape, see if you can focus on that until it dissipates into its most basic form, which would just be energy and molecules. So allow the edges of your images to soften and blur until there's nothing tangible but a sense of calm, a sense of beingness. And focus your awareness there for the next few minutes. If you'd like, you can check in with the body again if you feel like any tension's been produced anywhere in the body. You can periodically check in with the breath again. And then bring as much of your awareness as possible to the landscape behind your closed eyes. Don't be afraid of nothing. Don't be afraid of that which defies description, that which is shapeless, formless. That which is absolute consciousness in the absolute truest depth of you, with no images or judgments poured in. The deepest part of your being is just that, just pure awareness, with no descriptors, no judgments. No emotions to label, no problems to solve. Just a deep sense of being. That deepest part of you that is pure awareness defies any description, categorization. You are not this or that. You simply are. Deepen your breath into your simple beingness. Know that beyond and beneath everything you've been conditioned to believe about yourself and your world is this deep sense of calm, this deep sense of all is well, all is perfect exactly as it is. The I am that has no other follow up. You just are. Know that you can return to and enter this space at any time. This is the only thing that is unchangeable, that is constant. This deep sense of self within the heart of you. And as you're ready, go ahead and deepen your breath, focusing your awareness now on your inhale. And over the next few breaths, you can begin to invite some movement back into the body, maybe stretching the hands or very gently and slowly wiggling fingers and toes. Check in with your neck or your shoulders. And then very slowly in your own time, you can allow the eyes to blink open. You can take a look around the room that you're in, see if your vision has softened or changed or even become a little bit sharper. So when we come out of meditation, we always want to come out very slowly and gently, allowing the nervous system to sort of meet up with our surroundings again. I so hope that you've enjoyed this journey into the center of your being, this practice this month of centering the mind and entering the heart. Remember that all of these meditations are recorded, so you can always come back to them on a daily basis. The more we practice together, the more we all collectively enter the space of our heart, where there's no judgment, where nothing is right or wrong, where everything just is. And you exist as this perfect being that you are and that you were always meant to be. I'm Amanda Freed. You can reach out to me personally at amandafreed25@gmail.com if you have questions or comments or you'd like to do a private session. We will be here for the whole month of March live streaming for you. I'm grateful to be with you. Thank you again.